to talk about breaking up to break through. This is such a good conversation. We've been talking about this lately, and I am really excited about this. And so we'll be going live in a few seconds with Andy. Let me make sure that everything is all set up. So, yay! Oh, here's gorgeous Andy. Welcome.
Hi.
Let me I'm going to give a little tiny introduction
Yeah,
for you, and
of
then I'll
course.
have you introduce yourself. But hello, everybody. This is Andy Deluca, and she and I have worked together for a very, very long time. She has taught so many people how to be trauma informed. She has just this true depth to her, and really she's a best-selling author. Her books are in Barnes and Nobles and up north in not New Orleans, up north in the Boston.
Someday,
Yeah, someday in the Boston area.
someday.
She's just known for what she does, which is to help people break through and become their true selves, right? So a lot of times we're hiding pieces of ourselves, and Andy knows intuitively which piece you're hiding, what things you need to shift and
Yeah.
change. And I'm just so excited to have the conversation that we're going to have today. So Andy, would you tell everyone who you are and what you do?
Yes, thank you so much for that introduction. I'm always so excited to chat with you, Christine, as my mentor and my friend. It's been truly a journey with you, and I'm just any opportunity I can to be here and just be in this space with you and this energy with you. I'm so excited. So yeah, I mean, I think you summed up everything. I'm a trauma-informed mentor. I wrote a best-selling book, How Do I Deal with My Emotions? That is in selected Barnes and Nobles now, but you can get it on Amazon as well. And basically, what I do is I really help people identify the parts of themselves that are, either stifled or suppressed, that feel, are fearful, that are protective, because I know that, as a mom, as a wife, as an entrepreneur, there were certainly layers of my journey that were more difficult because I had these protective parts as a result of my past trauma, as a result of what I had gone through. And what I really want people to understand is that we can break up with these things. Like, we can decide that these protective parts no longer serve us, and we can choose to let them go and unburden them, and then really show up with that full potential that we have to rise to the best of our ability, to be who we want to be, to, even feel the way we want to feel. A lot of us feel locked into feelings like, I have to feel like this forever. No, you don't. You get to feel totally different if that's what you want. So I help people really just kind of break away from the monotony of their own stuckness.
Yeah, no, I love that. And I love the way you described it. And by the way, Andy has it's a workshop or masterclass that's
Yeah,
going to be called Break Up to Breakthrough.
yeah.
When is that happening?
It's next week. So next
Next
Friday.
week.
Yeah,
So we will make sure, Andy, you can drop the link if you want to while we're
absolutely.
talking in
Yep,
the comments. And then if you need the link, and like if you can't find it, always DM Andy and she'll be
yeah,
able to get you the link so that you can get in. So
absolutely.
today we were going to talk about breaking up, which breaking up you can think about, oh, maybe it's relationship. There's so many things in your life that you get to let go of that will help you to break through. And
Yeah.
so I wanted to talk about some of these things, which one of the things I had to break up with to break through was human design, and teaching that, to my audience. Not that it's a bad thing, but I could see that everyone was using it as a crutch, as an excuse to limit themselves. And so recently we were having huge conversations
Yeah.
about this, and you have strong opinions. And so I would love to hear more about and then let's just jam on this topic.
Yeah. I mean, just like, we know all about like the birth charts and human design being one, these modalities are great, and they can offer a wide variety of awareness and knowledge, right? But what happens is we end up boxing ourselves into what these say, like, oh, I'm a 3-5 line. okay, so that means what? Just because you're aligned 3-5 in some random chart, does that mean that you still can't do whatever it is that you're trying to do? And my whole thing with this, and the reason why I don't sign my name to this docket anymore, is because I know there's a layer beneath this. So it's like, even if we are being very responsible with these modalities that we teach, it is limiting to some degree. And it's also bypassing the disruptions in our body. Trauma is a psychological injury, it's a physiological injury. And so if your birth chart says one thing, you're destined for whatever it is, but your experiences have been something different in your life, you're going to start to view the world through the lenses of that experience. And you're going to start operating as if. So no matter if I am a 3-5, and I'm using me as an example, and I am a generator, it doesn't mean that some of these things are going to come easy for me because of those experiences. Why don't they come easy? Because I need to get to the disruption. I say darts. I use darts as an example. It's like being hit with darts. You have multiple darts that you're hit with, which is, in fact, those disruptions, those traumas. And we need to work on getting those out. And then we can look at a personality chart, or then we can look at a human design chart, and we can use it for a little bit more guidance or just fun, knowledge. But it doesn't have to be something we box ourselves into. And so many times I feel like these things are limiting. And I even felt like this before when the Myers-Briggs test. I wanted to rip my hair out when people would start throwing that BS my way. I'm like, who cares what that thing says? That's just one piece of knowledge or insight. It's not who you are. You're a very nuanced individual. You're a multi-dimensional person who's going through different experiences. Your Myers-Briggs chart might be basing your personality on your birthday or whatever it is, but they don't know your experiences in your life and what has happened to you since then.
Yeah. Well, and then if we think about it, whenever we answer some of these personality tests and things like that, we're answering what we think people want us to answer. We're not really truly answering them very honestly in the first place. And so we have all these amazing, everyone wants to box themselves in because they want an answer outside of them on how to move. And that's why I moved away from human design, because I don't want people to look for something outside of them for what they get to move. They get to look within, and they get to trust their inner God voice. And so I love your perspective on that, because there's so many things that we get to let go of. Like I said, a human design, I had 16,000 people that took 2 courses of mine. And, so human design was a big money maker for me, but it wasn't something that I wanted to continue, because I could see how clients were limiting themselves. I wanted to flip-flop slap them all day, because of that. And so, but there are other things that you can break up with. Like, I've had clients that needed to leave a relationship, and then their businesses took off because they were in a relationship that was very harmful to them, or it wasn't allowing them to fully express, or they weren't allowing themselves to fully express because of what that situation was. And so I know you've also worked with clients one-to-one that you've helped move out of relationships, and then all of a sudden everything just broke free. Why do you think that's the case? And what are some of the things that you help that client do to utilize, to break up, to feel comfortable, to walk away in order for them to break through?
That's a great question. And it's funny that you bring that up, because anytime I work with a client and they end up breaking up out of a relationship, it could even be a marriage, there's a part of me that feels very sad, guilty, almost oh my God, I don't want to be responsible for this breakup. But then on the other side, you see them, I call it the breakup glow up, right? You see them all of a sudden, you're like, who the hell is this person? Where did this person emerge from, right? And it really is because when we're stuck in toxicity, when we're stuck in things that don't serve us, it really stifles us. It's like if you were stuck in mud, right? You can't run in mud. You can't thrive and flourish in being stuck in mud. But when you're free of the mud, you can go wherever you want. That relationship almost becomes like quicksand. And sometimes it's not even like the person's a bad or it's abusive or anything like that. But we get into relationships based on our own experiences, like I was saying before. So a lot of times with my clients, I find when they're in a relationship, they're really having a relationship based on their attachments, like their bonds, their trauma bonds. And when they realize that and they're like, wait, I don't want to be treated like that, or I want more than that, or I deserve better than this, or this person doesn't communicate the way I really want them to. And I've tried to get them to communicate differently. I've expressed my needs and they're not meeting me where I'm at. Then we know it's time that we need to like break free from that, because it's not getting any better, right? I'm not saying run and jump and, you know, head for the hills. I've been married for 21 years. So it's like, there have been many times in my relationship when I'm like, whoa, who the fuck are you? You know what I mean? Like, maybe I should, like, no, I have 4 kids. Like, we've gone through it all, right? But there's a difference, because when you do express, like, hey, listen, I'm growing, I'm learning, I'm changing, I'm healing, they meet you where you're at, and they also want to grow, change, and heal with you. That's the difference. So if you have someone in your life, and it can be a parent, and you're just trying to express boundaries, like, hey, listen, you can't talk to me like that. Like, you can't speak to me like that. You can't come in my home and judge me. You can't criticize the way I parent. And if they don't stop that, then you need to break free from that. You need to break up with that relationship. And as hard as that is, and I don't mean to sound like it's easy. I know it's difficult. So this is why I work with people. It's like we take it in layers, but it's like it's necessary steps here that we have to take to break free, to break through. There is no breaking through until we break up with the cancer, until we break up what's ailing us, until we break up with the patterns, the behaviors, or even the people that are hindering our growth.
Right. And if you hear what Andy is saying too, it's in your power, right? So
Absolutely.
a lot of times we give our power away, and we think, oh, this person is hindering us, or this person is doing the things. But you have the choice to stay. You have the choice to work on it. You have the choice to leave. And when you decide to make that choice, when you go all in, that is what is also going to help with the break free, right?
Yeah.
You get to break through because you've made a decision and you're moving towards that decision, right? So we're not saying that you have to leave a toxic relationship or anything like that, because a lot of times doing the work within that can change that relationship. And I've seen that happen so many times as well.
Yeah.
You know, and so, I see Lisa, I see Sujit, I see Tasha.
Hi guys.
Hello, everybody. It's just we're having such a good conversation about the things that you do have to break up with and let go of in order for you to shine, in order for you to fully own who you truly are. And so we've worked together for a really long time. What are some of the things that we worked together and you had to break up with or break free? I remember earlier we were talking about how you didn't want to do lives, and you said it was because somebody told you that you have an open throat. And so because your chart told you had an open throat, you couldn't do lives. And I was like, who told you that bullshit? Even when I was teaching human design, I was like, no, let's talk. And so let's talk about some of that you've experienced with working with me.
So I just want to hop back for 1 second and just say something that I just popped in that I wanted to say, that you made a great point. Like, and I obviously talk about empowerment in my book, like the 3 principles: empowerment, connection, and safety. When we can put those things together, we can, in fact, transform and break through without having to break up. But I will also say that breaking up, there is a temporary breakup that we have to do no matter what. Because that's the decision. So the decision is that temporary breakup. Like, I'm going to decide at this moment, this does not serve me. So I'm going to temporarily break up with this. And then I can come back to it, but in a healthier way. So I just wanted to add that. Sometimes
break up with it as it was.
Exactly, as it was, as the old form. Like, if this relationship is not good, then I can break up with it in this form, but I can work on myself. We can work on things and come back to it, but in a healthy way, and rebirth things in a healthy way. And I've done that so many times in my own marriage. So I just want to say that too. It's not, you don't have to say like, throw it all to the wind, right? Throw the baby out with the bathwater, as they say. Sometimes it's just a break, just so you can identify what isn't serving you anymore. So anyway, I just wanted to say that. But anyway, yes. So moving on to the open throat. Yes, I was told that because I had an open throat, I shouldn't go live, like do live video like this or live on Facebook or whatever. And what was happening was, the reason where that came from was because I had expressed in a group that I was fearful to go live. Like, I don't know, there's some block around going live. I don't know what it is. I hate the sound of my voice, blah, 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 blah. And so this person, the mentor in the group, was like, well, you have an open throat in your human design, so you shouldn't go live. Like, you should just, live on stage maybe, but not live video. You can write content, but it's better for you just to not do the live thing. So I was like, oh, cool. Now I have an excuse not to go live. It gave me I already had the limitation, but now it reinforced the limitation. And so when I came to you, and I thought I was like a proud peacock, like, I don't have to go live anymore. You were like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, you're great on live, and you go live, like, you're good on live. Like, so you really gave me that like confidence to like go live. But then what really was the kicker was like, when we started dissecting why I wasn't going live, and it had nothing to do with an open throat. It had everything to do with trauma. Because when I first went live, my very first live video on Facebook, I had a family member say to me after I ended the live, and this was before I was even like a mentor, I wrote a book, anything like that. I just was going live for fun in my daughter's room, just doing some like cute little like riff like I like to do. And I won't say who it was, but a family member called me on the phone. It was like, never do that again. It was uncomfortable to watch. So what happens when your safety is jeopardized, right? It's like a death. You're rejected by people that are supposed to love you and cheer you on. And here I am being rejected by the people that are supposed to love me and cheer me on, and they're not. So how am I going to expect other people to like me and love me if my own family member rejected me and said, don't ever do that again? So that was the limitation. It was the trauma. It was the disruption, that dart that I was shot with, that really kept me from going live. But when that mentor said, you have an open throat, it enforced like, oh, I don't have to look at anything else. I have an open throat. I don't have to go live, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it just really fought for my limitations, instead of saying, in your design, you have an open throat, which is great, but let's look at why else you might, like you did. Like, you didn't just take that as a reason or an excuse. You were like, girl, what the fuck? Like, let's figure this out. And I was like, okay. And now I go live all the time. And now
all the time.
All the time. And I don't even care anymore. Now it's like, I have much more confidence. Like, I don't care. Now I'm just like in a different space. Like, I broke up with that limitation. And so I emerged into someone that like, now I love to go live. So
yeah. I will never play into people's limitations ever. Tasha said with that same mentor, she said, thinking back on it, she told me something similar when I first started working with her. And at that time, Tasha was going live 30 days straight. And so it stopped her from showing up for a little bit. And as a mentor, I will never play into your limitations. I will flip-flop slap you to remember who the hell you are. I'm loving, I'm kind, but I will flip-flop slap you.
You will, for sure, you will. And I think you and I came up with that because you flip-flop slapped me. And we didn't have a word for it. We didn't have a word for it, but I was like, damn, I think she just flip-flop slapped me.
And you sent me that that gift.
I sent you the flip-flop. Yeah. It's so true though, but it's like, listen, as a mentor, it's not our job to fight for someone's limitations. That's not why someone wants to work with you. If we did that and we gave people excuses, then why would they work with you? Like, they can just sit and do the same thing over and over again. When you come to work with me, I'm not going to allow you to sit in that quicksand. We're going to move. And it might be difficult, but we're going to move, because I know once you get out of it, you will flourish. You will break through, and you'll see what's on the other side of it. And I have so many people that have done that, and myself. Like, I don't just walk the walk, but I talk the talk too. I do this work as well. There's been many limiting beliefs that I've had to break up with. Going live is just one of them. But there's been things around money. There's been things around relationships. There's been mistakes that I've made, and I'm like, I'm never showing my face again. Like, it's over for me. Like, no, everyone hates me. And you were like, what? Like, no, right? So we can't see the tip of our nose. So it's really helpful to have someone else see that perspective. And my whole thing with those charts, just going back to that for a second, is because all I see is these limited things like, oh, I'm a line 3-5, I'm a line 2-6, I'm a line 1 million, and whoever knows what it is. Who cares what line you are? Why does that change anything that you're doing now? And instead of, even if you understand human design or you understand gene keys or understand personality charts, whatever it is, just because you understand it or can teach it doesn't mean you understand someone's relationships or what they've walked through in their life. So let's not bypass the fact that these things might be tools, but just because you're giving someone the tool, if they don't know how to use the tool because they have these disruptions in their body or in their brain, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
It's just not going to
Or
work.
if they're going to use that tool to excuse the
Yeah,
disruptions and different things that they have, to use it to limit themselves. Like
exactly.
I will never give anyone anything that's going to limit themselves and put them in a
Yeah,
box. And you can have that even if you have like a reader, and like if you go to someone who's going to read your future or something like that, they could tell you something and then you use that to put you in a box. And
mm-hmm.
I'm always the person to say, take what works, take what
Yeah,
flies, and leave the rest,
yeah,
because there are billions of possibilities that that person cannot see. They can only read the trajectory that you're on. And by
yeah,
reading the trajectory that you're on, you decide, is this where I want to go or do I want to change? And that way
mm-hmm.
you know that you are empowered to make whatever choice and whatever decision that you need to do
Yeah,
for yourself. And so
absolutely.
anyone that's listening and they're thinking, I know I'm ready, I'm on the cusp of a breakthrough. Like I'm on the cusp of the
Mm-hmm.
breakthrough. I know that I'm ready to, whether it's, have the amazing relationship or start this business or blow up my business because it's successful, but I know there's something else that I need. Then you need to go to BreakUp to Breakthrough for the workshop and find out, like, discover what thing you feel could be holding you
Mm-hmm.
back from making that move that you know you get to make.
Yeah,
Because it could just be one little thing. It could be one part of you that's happened when you were a young girl that you're still
yeah,
seeing, that now once you can read it and see it and then heal that piece and bring that piece along with you, you'll be able to take the action that you need to take. That's why BreakUp to Breakthrough is going to be an amazing masterclass that's really going to help you get to beyond the cusp of the breakthrough and actually break out.
yeah, 100%. Because, like you said it perfectly, there are parts of us that are, we're all made up of parts. And when there is a part of us that is protective, it is going to, like, basically, it's called a fire extinguisher. Anytime you're trying to, move, make more money, do some big move in your business or in your life, it's going to fire extinguish that part because it's going to call, whoa, this is dangerous. Remember when you were 5 years old and you told your mom that you were really upset with her, that she yelled at you and she basically just said, oh, go to your room. I yelled at you because you deserved it, right? It could be something as so stupid and simple as that, but that part of you could be holding on to that rejection. And unless we actually identify, oh, there's a part of me that when I was younger, my mom really rejected me every time I was upset and I tried to tell her I was upset, she would get angry with me and she would blame me or gaslight me, right? And it's like, that's a difficult part to move through. They're going to protect you. So every time you try to make that move or speak how you feel or do something bold, that protective part's going to be like, no, we're not going there. So we've got to unburden that part of us in order to actually move into the direction that we want. And I know I had to work on these parts myself, and I still do at times. They're most likely they're younger, wounded parts of us that were never like attuned to properly. And I use the mom example, but that may not be an example for everyone, right? It's just to show that it can be something very small. You could have great caretakers who love you and took care of you, but it could have been something.
Okay, you're back now.
Okay,
we couldn't hear you,
my
but now we can hear
husband,
you.
every time I'm live or every time I'm doing something, he calls. So I was saying that it's important that we identify these parts because they really do like prevent us from doing things that we want to do or feeling the way we want to feel or keeping us in patterns that are more coping mechanisms than anything. They're not healthy. They're just how we're coping with something.
Yeah. So, and you're going to be talking all about this
Yeah.
in Break Up
To
to
break through.
Breakthrough. Would you
Yep.
tell everybody a little bit more about that? When is it going to happen? How do they sign up? And then you can close out with like any kind of word of advice for everyone so that we can end our weekend or our week
Yeah.
amazing.
Start our weekend, right?
Start our weekend. Yeah.
Yeah, so BreakUp to Breakthrough is my masterclass that I put together because it's going to talk about identifying parts of us. And literally in real time, we're going to do some demoing. I've been doing it all week, actually. This whole week, I've been going live on my Facebook page. So if you don't follow me, you can at Andrea Poison Delucia. And I do live intuitive readings, and then I kind of associate it with the part of you that you might be like, maybe stuck or might be holding on to, or it might be burdened and you want to unburden that part. And so I've been doing that to kind of just give like a little bit of a demo of what it looks like, but we're going to do it in the masterclass too. Essentially, it's really for someone that wants to break through. They're done being limited. They're done feeling like, you know, this part is controlling me. This 16-year-old part is controlling me. This 5-year-old part is controlling me. I really want to have a better relationship, a better sex life. I want a better communication with my partner. I want to do better in my business, make more money, you know, not be so agitated as a parent, whatever it is. And this works really well with high functioning women. And this is who I target because as high functioning individuals, we don't have time.
Yeah.
We don't have time for this bullshit. We don't have time. We're moving and shaking. We need to keep it going, keep it flowing. So it's like, this is why these parts are so important. So this is really what we're going to be doing in that masterclass, is really kind of dissecting parts work. And then I'm doing some live demoing and how this actually works in real time.
I love it. And when is it happening?
Next Friday at 11 o'clock.
Ooh,
and
so
there's
next Friday.
Yep. And there's a Facebook group. So I can I think I put a link here. Oh yeah, I can put a link to the group.
You can put it in the comments, and then if no one can copy and paste it, you can contact Andy in the DMs. She'll get you a link, or you can go to her Facebook page.
Yep. And also, I think I can do a link in story. So I'll try to post
Yes.
There's been many, but I'll do a one today anyway, because it's a week from today. So they'll be follow my story. You'll see a link in there as well. But yeah, and so we're going to apply the principles of, you know, what I write in my book. Of course, I always go back to my trauma-informed principles. So parts work with the trauma-informed lens, and then that makes it more safe for you, and it makes it like an easier integrational kind of thing because you now have foundational pieces to do the work. I would never suggest just to jump into parts work without facilitation and foundation. And that's one of the things I really want to stress here, is that I'm a level 2 parts work certified, you know, expert. So parts work is really hard to do on your own. It just really is. But when you can have facilitation in it to support you to engage that part, and I know Tasha's here and she's done parts work with me, she can probably speak to this. It's so much better to be held and to be facilitated through it, because sometimes our parts don't want to show up. They're stubborn and they're scared to show up. So having that facilitation and that safety, it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so excited for you. I know this workshop, so far you have about 9 to 10 people that are already signed up.
Yeah.
And so I know it's going to be so exciting, and everybody's going to love it. So definitely follow Andy. You can also, Andy, is there one last word of advice when it comes to breaking up to break through, just to end this in a most beautiful way?
Yeah, I would just say, you know, be true to yourself. No matter what is out there, like we were talking about different charts and all that stuff, different modalities, everyone is different, and like, you know what feels good for you. So don't ever give your power away to something that has no bearing on your life. Keep your power. Keep your power. Allow things to support you. Be open to support. Be open to mentorship. Be open to the things, but always keep your power within you, because those things, at the end of the day, you're the one walking in your own journey. So just be true to you. Just be true to you.
Ooh, that is so good. So Watch this, be true to you. Watch this again because there's so many good nuggets, lots of gold, just to remind you and empower you to remember it's your choice, your decision. And
Mhm.
you get to not give your power away because that's what happens. You give your power away to other things.
Yep.
And so I'm so excited. You register for the free masterclass,
Yep.
Break Up to Break Through. It's happening on Friday. There'll be the links in all of the Instagram stories. I'll drop the link in my Instagram story
Yay.
so that you can get in. So send me that link,
I will.
Andy, after this. And I'm just so honored to have had you with us. This will
Thank
also be on the
you.
podcast. You guys can listen to this over and over again because there are just so many nuggets and so many ways that you can just embody this information. And it's really gonna just change the way you show up in your life in all areas, not just business, but also in your relationships, also in your parenting,
Yeah.
also in all the other places. So,
Yes.
so thank you so much,
Thank
Andy, for being here.
you.
And I will see you guys at the next live. Bye.
Bye.